Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and staying safe. It's a sunny day in Cheshire today, which makes a change from it raining. However, I digress. So this week's video is slightly different. Unfortunately, I'm going into hospital next week, so I thought I would do some sort of batch cooking in preparation for that. And that's not to say Ben isn't capable of cooking meals or that I'm going to be in there for a long time. However, I just thought, as today is Saturday, everybody's out apart from me, that I would just get ahead and do some meals that I can freeze, and then we've got sort of homemade nutritious meals to have when I might be feeling a bit rubbish. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll do a bit more about what's happening next week and where I'm up to in terms of my AS and COVID in a separate video, because I don't like to sort of say crossover, but if you're here for my AS, you're probably not very interested in other stuff, and if you're interested in the other stuff, you're probably not very interested in my AS. So that's why I try and keep them separate. So yeah, so stay tuned for what I'm going to do batch cooking wise. So my first recipe I'm going to batch cook is a spaghetti bolognese sauce. So I mean, you can basically put whatever you like into this. I'll run through what I've got and what I'm going to do. So I've got a pack of mince pork and beef, some smoked lardons, some onions. Now I normally get frozen onions, but because we had a barbecue last night, we bought some actual onions to do sort of like fried onions for the burgers. So carrots, courgettes, mushrooms, garlic, chopped tomatoes, and some Italian seasoning, or you can just put in sort of basil and rosemary, that sort of thing. But I've got some of this. I'm going to put in a beef stock cube, and I'm going to chop everything in my food processor, just because I struggle to chop things, which is why I buy frozen onions. And this is a great way, if you've got to do a lot of chopping, just to whack it in the food processor. So I'm going to chop up all my vegetables. I'm not going to fry my mince, but I am going to fry my bacon lardons, and in my next recipe I need my frying pan out anyway. So I'm going to just bung everything in the slow cooker, leave it on for sort of 6 hours ish on low, and then once that's done, I'm going to portion up some for our tea probably tomorrow, and then I'm going to freeze portions. I'm going to put some with some gnocchi in a freezer bag, and that's great because then that's a complete meal that can just be microwaved, and then we can have this with pasta or with even with rice or jacket potatoes. So I will get everything prepared and show you what it looks like before it starts cooking. So far I've popped my beef and pork mince in here, my courgette and my carrot me just do that. There we go. Now there is a lot, but obviously this is making a lot of meals and I'm freezing it. So just going to put my onion and my mushrooms and then give everything a stir. I like to keep a little plate with my spoon next to it and then I can stir it and put it down because at the moment obviously the meat is raw. I would film myself chopping things up, but it just makes a lot of noise. So that's work in progress. Next batch cooking meal is a slow cooker beef curry. And this is one of our favourites. So I'm just going to chuck all this in the slow cooker. We're going to have half of it this week and I'm going to freeze the other portions for a later date. Now there's obviously a lot of beef here, but this will do 8 meals for us. We're a family of 3, so it really works out fairly cost effective. And these, you know, I love a red sticker, so all this meat, and there's 450 grams, I think, 400 grams of diced beef. I've got 2 of those, and 500 grams. So there's 2 of those of minced beef. And because these were 30% off, these were, I think, £1.75 for those 2, £1.50. £1.50. And these were £1, so that's £5 worth of meat. And for 8 meal times, it does work out really good per portion. So into that, I'm going to put 2 tins of coconut milk. I've got some garlic and some ginger, some bloody frozen chopped onions, some garam masala, curry powder, and some tomato puree. So I've got my meat, I've got my coconut powder. I'm going to put 4 teaspoons of garam masala and 4 tablespoons of curry powder, 100 grams of tomato puree, probably all of that, so it'll be about 2 or 3 onions and some garlic and ginger. So I'll throw all that in the slow cooker and away we go. So it doesn't look very appetising now, but trust me, after 6 to 8 hours on low, my slow cooker only does low and high. It will be delicious. And the good thing about this is you literally just think about it the night before, getting the meat out of the freezer, and then it's just store cupboard stuff and a few frozen things. So yeah, so come back in 6 to 8 hours and see what this looks like. And there's mine, and I've got mine on some spinach and watercress. And there we have it, beef curry with, this is Ben's, he's got his with rice. So for my next meal, I'm going to do a vegetarian lasagna. I saw this on Emily Norris's channel and I thought this would be really good for a quick tea. So I'm just going to cook the sort of say meat sauce, but obviously it's not meat in it. The sauce, and then I'm going to layer it up into this foil tray, and then I'm going to freeze it. Then when we want to use it, we can just take it out, defrost it and cook it in the oven. So I'm going to start off with frying some of the onions that I've just done for my spaghetti bolognese. I'm going to fry the onions. Got some leftover carrots, so I thought I'll just chop those up and sort of beef out the sauce a bit. Then I'm going to add the corn mince. I got this in Aldi. Some garlic and some basil and parsley, and a jar of pasta sauce. Going to simmer that for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to layer up the lasagna with pasta sheets, some cottage cheese and mozzarella and parmesan. So not tried this before. Normally I'd make a white sauce, so we'll see how we get on. So my meat mixture, or non-meat mixture, has been simmering for about 15 minutes. So now I'm going to layer up the meat, the pasta, and what is a cheese type sauce. So you'll have to bear with me as I'm reading my instructions so I get it right. And I think because I've added the carrots and various other things, I think maybe too big for this tin, so we'll just have to see how we get on. So first of all, I'm going to dot a little bit in the bottom and then lay some pasta on top of that. And I think that's to stop the pasta sticking. And this is quite a big tin, and this will at least get 6, maybe 8 portions out of it. So I think that's how she did it. And then we're just working out how best pasta is going to lay. Maybe So my final meal is a slow cooker, unsurprisingly, ham sort of stew. And I really like to have a ham joint in the fridge because they normally have a really good date, and then you can do something like this or a roast ham, and it just gives you some options. So all I'm going to do, I've already got my ready chopped onion and mixed pepper. I've got some carrots and some potatoes, so I'm just going to roughly chop those up. The ham's just going to go in obviously as it is. Got 2 tins of baked beans, a tin of chopped tomatoes. I just buy the cheap ones. And then I'm going to put in some chili powder. I'll need a teaspoon of that and 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika and some ready chopped garlic. So all that's going to go in the slow cooker for about 6 to 8 hours. All this is from Aldi, apart from the smoked paprika that I just can't get in Aldi. So that one's from Asda. And there we go, that's everything chopped up and the ham nestled in the middle. And it may look like the slow cooker is rammed, and it is, but trust me, it will all cook. And if you haven't got fresh potatoes, you could always use tinned. That works just as well. So I'm going to leave that for 6 to 8 hours, and I'll give it a casual stir around the outside a couple of times during that.